when you're on YouTube and you need to listen to a blog, listen to God That Love Breath. Woo! That's my theme song. Hey guys, this is God Love Breath, and today I'm going to talk about the wonderful beautifulness which is fan communities when they're done right. That's right. I made that topic off from the top of my head. So let's think of a really good topic to talk about. Shoes. No, shoes aren't good. Sweet tarts. I got some tangy sweet tarts here. Does anybody want to listen to those? No, let's not talk about that. Honestly, today I want to talk about nothing. Really? Nothing? Okay. Let me turn off my microphone and think of a topic right now. That way I don't look like a freaking moron. Okay. Alright, I've actually come up with something. Yeah, I'm not just like sitting in front of the microphone randomly trying to come up with a stupid topic anymore. I've actually got one. Has anybody noticed that these anime remakes that have been happening, that have been done by the same studio or done by the same people, where it's almost the same exact story except with better animation? There's two examples that I want to bring up right now. Although this second one, the latter that I'm going to talk about, is actually something that will most likely develop into a beautiful magnum opus, since it's based off of a manga which was turned into an anime that and the anime wasn't really all that faithful to the manga, and so now they're doing the anime again. The one remake that really bothers me, but seems to be praised as a masterpiece and a magnum opus by a lot of other people for no apparent reason. I say because they're fanboys and they are just jealous. Rebuild of Evangelion, at least the first film, which in my opinion was a god-awful piece of really, really pretty rehashed garbage, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which isn't nearly as bad, but it falls into the same sorts of traps that I've been noticing. Okay, in the case of Rebuild of Evangelion, for anyone who has seen the film, it's basically the same exact story as Neon Genesis Evangelion. It adapts the first several episodes of the anime into one 2-hour film. And the problem with this is, as great as that sounds, they actually take scenes directly from the original anime and don't change them. The animation is the same, except it's a lot prettier. The way the characters move is almost exactly the same. It's insulting to a fan base who has been waiting so long to see a new film. Or at least I was. I was looking for a new film with a new angle on the same story, perhaps some homages to the original, perhaps some recreations of the same scenes, but an alternative universe, really. I wanted to see an alternative version of Evangelion, and every now and again they would change something, but not very often. They would occasionally tweak something and go, oh, see here? Oh, we kind of changed something just a little bit to appease you fanboys who have been looking forward to like one or two changes, and it irked me. I was looking forward to that film for so long, and then they just give you that. It's a rehash. It's a rehash with prettier animation, with glossier production values. And it was actually directed by Hideaki Anno. I can understand if it was like directed by some other guy, then I can say, okay, I forgive you. Anno, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name, he reminds me a lot of Lucas. Evangelion is his Star Wars, and he just can't leave it alone. He keeps coming back to it, and I've got to admit, Rebuild of Evangelion artistically is a much better film than any of the Star Wars prequels were. But still, to rehash something that badly, it's obvious that he wanted money. There's no reason to revisit something like that, unless it was just his nostalgia trip and he wants to go back to what made him famous in the first place. But why would you do that? Create a new story. Wow us with something original. Wow us, if you're going to make an Evangelion movie, make it so that it is different and it is unique from the source material. Make it faithful, obviously. Every adaptation needs to be faithful, but don't just give us the same exact thing. It doesn't make any sense. Why? I guess you're trying to appease fanboys who don't want to see any single little thing changed, but I just don't understand it. For those of you who haven't seen the first movie of Rebuild of Evangelion yet, I would suggest you make your own opinion about it, but it's, for me, one of those cases I can rant and rave about that movie for like hours and hours and hours because it pissed me off so badly, but you guys, lots of people enjoyed it. Lots of people praised it as being wonderful, but I think it's one of those cases where something was so overhyped and so overbuilt that people won't just look at it for what it is, which is a rehash. It's a beautiful looking rehash, and I'm certain maybe if you hadn't watched the original Evangelion and you don't know that they're ripping all of this off from the original, and it's pretty much almost entirely untainted for the most part, then maybe you'll like the film. Maybe you'll love the film. But for someone who has memorized a lot of those scenes, it's a real middle finger to the fans. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, this is an interesting one, because I got a lot of Rebuild of Evangelion vibes from it, from the first couple of episodes. I haven't watched all that much of it yet, so I can't make the final judgment of the series. But it starts off from the beginning again. It's giving you all these flashbacks. It expands a bit of these same scenes, and it's doing them just how the manga had. But they do the same exact scenes that were done in the original anime and done very well over again. It's, for somebody who is looking forward to the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood release, I'm afraid that I'm going to just have to wait a while before I'm actually going to start watching it. Because at this point, nothing interesting is happening. It's all stuff we have seen before. The little tidbits that are based off of the manga where they tweak the original storyline back. Actually, they're not tweaking the storyline anymore. They're basically actually following the manga plot. Although it's not in the chronological order that the manga followed, so that confuses me a little bit. But they're basically doing a reboot of the Full Metal Alchemist franchise. My thing with that is, I think they could have waited at least like 8 or 9 more years before they reboot Full Metal Alchemist. The original anime is still relevant to me. It doesn't feel like an antique. It doesn't feel like it needs to be redone. Sure, it isn't faithful, or as faithful as many people would like it to be to the original manga. In fact, near the end, it doesn't even resemble the manga. But it is what it is. If you want to experience the manga story, read the manga. If you want to watch a really amazing anime, watch the Full Metal Alchemist anime. I don't feel that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is necessary. But we'll just have to wait and see. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I can't make final judgments yet. All I can say is that rewatching the same scenes that you've already seen done, and in my opinion done better in the original series, it's a drag. It's a really big drag right now. In both of these cases, if you're going to reboot Full Metal Alchemist and you're going to have it follow the manga, what I would say is that wait a while longer. And in the case of Evangelion, just leave well enough alone. It's good enough. You don't have to touch Evangelion anymore. If anybody is going to touch Evangelion, it should be somebody other than the guy who had originally created it. He has already made his opus. Let somebody else do something with Evangelion if they're going to... Okay, this has got a lot of breath, and I should log out, because this topic, just thinking about Rebuild of Evangelion makes me want to punch something. Alright, I am signing out.